Hello, and welcome back to the B Channel podcast, where my objective is to bless, edify, and encourage others to live their best lives. Today's episode is going to be about self care and why we should practice it. Sometimes in life, things can get so hectic that you put yourself on the back burner. As a caregiver, one of the things I have to remember is that I matter too. If my health deteriorates, how can I possibly be a great caregiver? Ironically, as a caregiver, sometimes I forget to give care to myself, but recently, something shifted. I am on a mission to be deliberate about self care. I even started reading a new book all about this topic. I am determined to fine tune my self care routine and tailor it to my life. Now, some of you might be wondering, what is self care? Well, here's how I see self care. Self care is engaging in activities that enhance your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well being. Now, it is important to consider that what counts as self care to me may not be self care to you. There are many things that I consider to be self care. However, I will narrow it down to five main categories. The first category is boundaries. I define boundaries as being a good steward of my resources, such as time, money, and energy. Now, as an introvert, time to recharge is essential. Throughout the day, I need moments of solitude. I believe as people, we need to work on doling out our resources, time, money, and energy wisely. As it has been said many times before, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Now, the next category is something I am working on getting back into regularly. I am beginning to realize that I need exercise as a part of my self care routine in order to function. Without it, I feel weak, tired, and nothing like myself. It is simply an aspect of self care I cannot afford to neglect. Quiet time is an activity that I absolutely must engage in. I prefer to have quiet time before I see a soul in my household. However, that is not always possible. Without my daily practice of prayer, opening the YouVersion Bible app, listening to my Bible experience CDs, reading my devotional or inspirational book of choice, and listening to praise and worship music throughout the day, I do not know where I would be. It helps me have a better attitude throughout my day and learn how to treat the people I love better. I believe a settled spirit makes for a successful life in every way. My goal is to have a more settled spirit despite the chaos in this world. Now, I believe there is simply nothing like a hot shower and changing into fresh jammies or sweats to uplift your spirits and rejuvenate you. It may seem like an insignificant thing, but a shower and practicing some simple hygiene can be healing to the soul. It is almost like the water washes away all the stress. We have to be good to our bodies. We only get one. Treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Last but not least, the nerd in me just loves to learn new things. To some, this may not seem like self care, but these things are healing for me. I love to do word searches, color adult coloring books with scriptures and quotes in them, listen to my favorite podcast, read my favorite blogs, and watch my favorite inspirational people on YouTube. For me, the day is not complete unless I have learned something new. Also, the beauty of technology is that I can be doing the dishes and put on a podcast or YouTube video and learn something. I find that it helps me get through unpleasant tasks quicker if I'm listening to or watching something interesting. In conclusion, self care is truly something that we must practice at to get better. Learning to love yourself well takes time, so give yourself grace and be patient during the journey. After all, as Maya Angelou so eloquently said, when you know better, you do better. Please feel free to leave me a message on Spotify on that podcast and just let me know what you think about today's podcast. Would you like to hear more content like this? You can also find this podcast at Google, Anchor, Apple, and Amazon. So please give me a listen on any of those platforms and follow. You can also find my other social media. The link to my other social media is in the description of the podcast. So I look forward to hearing from you soon. And thank you for tuning in and listening. Peace and blessings. Until next time.